Thank you very much. Good morning and with tax appeals. My name is Andrew Wong. I'm the lead administrative law judge who will be conducting the hearing for this case. On today's panel, in addition to myself, we have Judges Daniel Cho and Win Dang. Also present is our stenographer, Ms. Lynn Alonzo. This is the appeal of Khushi Investments, LLC, PA case number 1075063. Because of ongoing concerns pertaining to the coronavirus and COVID-19, and consistent with the governor's executive order N-20, the Office of Tax Appeals has decided that it is in the public's best interest to move the November 2020 calendar to remote electronic hearings. We are holding these hearings by video conference with the agreement of both the taxpayer and the tax agency's representatives, and this change will not impact the fair and objective hearing of tax appeals. This hearing is being conducted entirely electronically. All participants, including the ALJs, are video conferencing or calling into this hearing. Should you have any problems with video conferencing during the hearing, please as soon as possible. If you are unable to rejoin the video conference, we have a backup telephone number that you can call. Barring any technical issues, the video conference will be live streamed to the public, and our stenographer, Ms. Alonzo, will transcribe the audio of the hearing. That transcript will become part of the public record. To help Ms. Alonzo make a clear record, I have 4 requests. Number 1, please state your name every time before you speak. Number 2, please speak slowly, clearly, and directly into your communication device, and mute yourselves when you're not speaking. Number 3, please do not speak over each other, interrupt when someone else is speaking. And number 4, please answer verbally. That is, no nodding or shaking your heads or things like that. If Ms. Alonzo cannot hear, understand, or identify someone who is speaking, she has to interrupt the hearing at any time to get clarification. Speaking of clarification, I would like to clarify that this hearing is before the Office of Tax Appeals, also known as OTA. OTA is an independent agency separate from the California Department of Tax and Fee Administration, or CDTFA. As I noted earlier, I'm the lead ALJ for purposes of conducting this hearing. However, my co-panelists and I are co-equal decision makers and may ask questions of either party during the hearing at any time. Further, our panel of 3 ALJs will decide all the issues presented to us, and each of us will have an equal vote in making those decisions. Now let's introduce the parties. Who is here for appellant?
This is Snehal Soni. I am LLC member for Khushi Investments.
I am Jitesh Kothari, a real agent.
This is Judge Wong. Thank you. Who's here for CDTFA?
Randy Suazo, hearing representative.
Jason Parker, Chief of Headquarters Operations Bureau.
Christopher Brooks, Tax Counsel.
Thank you. When we go on the record, I'll be asking you to identify yourselves again and spelling your names for the record. I have an issue that we're examining today, whether a reduction to the amount of reported taxable sales is warranted. Is that correct?
Yes, Jitesh Kothari.
This is Judge Wong. Thank you, Mr. Kothari. Does CDTFA answer? Sorry.
Yes, that's our understanding. This is Randy Suazo.
Thank you very much. This is Judge Wong. Appellant has proposed exhibits 1 through 4. Did CDTFA have any objections to those exhibits?
This is Randy Suazo. No objections.
This is Judge Wong. Thank you. Mr. Kothari or Mr. Soni, did you have any other documents or exhibits you wanted to add?
No.
Jitesh Kothari, no.
I'm sorry, this is Judge Wong. That was a no. Is that correct?
Not from me, Snehal Soni.
I think sorry, this is Judge Wong. Mr. Soni said there's no other additional documents or exhibits. Mr. Kothari, Are there any other exhibits or documents you wanted to add?
No, that's wrong.
That was a no. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's no. Yes. No.
This is Judge Wong. Thank you. Thank you. CDTFA has proposed exhibits A through E. Does Mr. Soni or Mr. Kathari, do you have any objections to those proposed exhibits?
With the exhibit, you mean? Oh, okay, no.
So that was a no. Is that correct, Mr. Kathari?
That's correct. That's wrong.
Okay. And Mr. Soni, that's a no as well.
That's correct.
Okay. Thank you. This is Judge Wong. CDTFA, no other documents or exhibits to be added. Is that correct?
This is Randy Suazo. No other documents.
This is Judge Wong. Thank you. Appellant, you have no witnesses. Is that correct, Mr. Kathari or Mr. Soni?
Mr. Soni, yes, that's correct.
Thank you. And CDTFA, you have no witnesses as well. Is that correct?
This is Randy Suazo. No witnesses.
This is Judge Wong. Thank you. Okay. It was anticipated the oral hearing would take approximately 65 minutes. I have preliminary matters and introductions about 5 minutes. Presentation 20 minutes. CDTFA's presentation and closing remarks 20 minutes. Appellant's and closing remarks 15 minutes. And then I've budgeted about 5 minutes for ALJ questions. So appellant has about 35 minutes total to present the case, and CDTFA has 20 minutes, and then questions, matters, introductions, 10 minutes. All right. Any final questions go on the record? CDTFA, any final questions?
This is Randy Suazo. No questions, Your Honor.
This is Judge Wong.
Soni,
Appellant,
no
do you have?
questions?
Okay.
Sorry.
This is Judge Wong. Thank you. No problem. Judge Cho, are you ready to go on the record?
This is Judge Cho. I'm ready.
Judge Dang, are you ready to go on the record?
This is Judge Dang. Yes, I'm ready.
Ms. Alonso, are you ready? She's giving the thumbs up. Thank you. Okay, this is Judge Wong. We are now going on the record. We are opening the record of the appeal of Khushi Investments, LLC, before the Office of Tax Appeals in OTA case number 190-75063. Today is Tuesday, November 17th, 2020. The time is 11:33 a.m. We are holding this hearing by video conference. Location for the record is technically Cerritos, California, although the agenda does say Sacramento. The notice was for Cerritos. I am lead administrative law judge Andrew Wong, and with me today are judges Daniel Cho and Win Dang. We are the panel hearing and deciding this case. Individuals representing appellant, please identify yourselves and spell your names for the record.
Zitos Fatali, Ziceschovari.
And this is Snehal Soni, spelled as in S for Sam, N for Nancy, E for Eagle, H for Horse, A for Apple, L for Larry, last name S for Sam, O for Orange, N for Nancy, and I for Ice.
This is Judge Wong. Thank you. Individuals representing the California Department of Tax and Fee Administration, which I'll refer to by its acronym CDTFA, please identify yourselves and spell your names for the record.
This is Randy Suazo. R-A-N-D-Y. Suazo. S-U-A-Z as in zebra. O.
Jason Parker, JASONTARKER.
Christopher Brooks, CHRISTO, P as in Paul, HER, last name Brooks, BROOKS. O-O, K, S as in Sam.
This is Judge Wong. Thank you very much. We are considering one issue today, whether a reduction to the amount of unreported taxable sales is warranted. Is that a correct statement of the issue, appellant?
That's the Teacher Secretary.
Thank you. CDTFA?
This is Randy Suazo. Yes, that's correct, Your Honor.
This is Judge Wong. Thank you. Appellant has identified and submitted proposed exhibits 1 through 4 as evidence. Appellant has no other exhibits to offer, and CDTFA had no objections to them. Therefore, appellant's proposed exhibits 1 through 4 will be admitted into the record as evidence. CDTFA has identified and submitted proposed exhibits A through E as evidence. CDTFA had no other exhibits to offer as evidence, and appellant had no objections to them. Therefore, CDTFA's exhibits A through E will be admitted into the record as evidence. And then appellant had no witnesses, and CDTFA had no witnesses. All right, appellant, please proceed with your presentation. You have 20 minutes.
Yeah, this is Snehal Soni. I will go ahead with the presentation. For our presentation, as we have written on the exhibits, we were selected this audit. We don't know the reason why we were initially selected for this audit. The problem was initially it seemed like, when this whole process started, that they wanted to just wait, and because the initial notice we got was sometime in May. They asked for some documentation. We provided all, the documentation we could provide, like bank statements and all the credit card statements and everything, to Mr. Rubio. Then he kept pushing for, every time we submit something, he will ask another list of something else. He kept doing that to push this site observation dates to November and December, which are obviously, for any retail business, it's a different months. It's the holiday season, so they purposely tried to push those dates into those holiday months. The dates which we were given was right about Thanksgiving holidays and Christmas holidays, when in any retail business, those are the months where everybody will have a different sales compared to other time of the year. So the dates they selected was in November, which was 11, 19, 20, and 11, 22, 21 at Smoke Outlet, which was one of the locations. 11 and 19 and 22 at one location, and 11, 21 at one location, which is right before Thanksgiving holiday. That's that's when shopping season is actually right there. Then the second dates which were given for site observation was 12/15 and 12/16, so which was right before Christmas. So they kept pushing for this date over, even though this whole process started in May. They waited until this for site observation for 11 and for those dates around Thanksgiving and Christmas. Then Mr. Rubio and Mr. Kotari was exchanging via email. Mr. Kotari kept requesting him to expedite the process because we were submitting everything they asked as soon as we can, as soon as we could. He first disagreed with our credit card statement. He didn't believe that the credit card statements we are providing are true, real. Means we were submitting the paper which were with Bank of America logo on there. He thought he wanted something directly from Bank of America, which we tried to do because it's 2-3 year old thing in 2016. Banks and Bank of America, the online account I had was wasn't giving me that access to 3 year old document. So that took another 2 months, and there was no reason for not believing the original documents we were submitting. And every time we submit something, he will ask for something else. He wouldn't give us a list from the start that, okay, this is the 10 things I will need. He will give me 2 things. Then once we submit 2 things, he will say, okay, this is another 2 things I need. So he kept delaying that whole process. Now, obviously, this observation, this amount they are coming up that I was short paying on, or short showing, short on the sales, which is for 3-year period, it's $1.5 million, which they are saying we underreported. So as a business owner, or anyone to understand that if I have 1.5 million underreporting of the sale, and 94% gross profit, which they are showing on their worksheets, why would I close the business? That business itself is worth over $3-4 million. I would rather sell and just pay them 1.4. That's 150,000 they are asking for. Their whole intention upon starting this audit was to maximize how much they can maximize in terms of underreported sale. Now I'm not based on their worksheet I have reviewed. It seems like they are coming up with this amount based on this 5 days of observation for 3 years. They have averaged out 5 days, which are in the best months for any retail business, and averaged out that five days of observation to three years of sales. Out of those 3 years, 1 location was even closed before this audit started. They have assumed this. So this amount they are coming from is based on assumption, and I am fighting this case to their assumption that this sale was for 3 years based on that 5 days of observation. Second thing, it seems like is they have made assumption of the credit card transaction, which is for those 5 days, percentage-wise. So those are the 2 things my understanding is in terms of how they have calculated this amount. Now, the third thing, which if we look at their exhibits on page number 4 on report of the field audit, the first paragraph says penalty. In penalty, they are saying no penalty is recommended since there is no evidence of negligence or intent to evade tax. That means they are saying that I didn't have any intent to evade tax, but I have it. Then they are saying that I have evaded $1.5 million of sales under reporting for 3 years. So if I don't qualify for that, if they are not saying that I don't have any penalty, then on the other side, they are saying that I have underreported, even though I didn't have any intent to evade. Now, the reality, fact of the matter is, all this all these findings and is based on averages, and they came up with this amount. At the end of the day, my business closed down, all locations, right after I got this notice. Who in a right frame of mind would close down the business, which is, and based on this audit's facts, is worth over $3 million. I have attached my financial position at that time with that email conversation I had the product with the landlord. The landlord for the both location was the same, which was Reliable Properties. I have submitted that email record or their ledger showing how much amount I owed them, which amounted around $20,000. So if I had this kind of money, why would I not pay rent and forced out to close the business? So they have assumption, but I have this fact that, okay, I have two locations which were forced to close out due to back rents. One location was forced to close out before this audit started because of multiple robberies, and I presented those pictures for that location which was closed out because of multiple robberies to Mr. Rubio. at that time. I showed them what the condition of the store was after that robbery at one location. It was completely, there was nothing left in the store. Now the next part of my argument is they are saying Mr. Rubio has said that he collected some invoices from different vendors. Now that out of those different vendors, he hasn't shown us anything what he got from those vendors. All he's mentioning here is that 3 vendors which they got the response back one was Sam's Club, one was Swisher Sweets, and 2 were the vendors which are another was Cartons to Go and the statewide distributors. Now, out of these 4 vendors, they are talking. He is saying only Sam's Club has some verified process, verification of ID required when you make purchase. Like if you have Sam's Club membership, yes, there is picture ID on their membership card. The other 2 places, anybody can go and tell that, okay, I need to make this purchase, and this is the store I'm coming from. They can make that purchase. They are never they don't ask for present ID or who you are. So anybody can go there and just say that I'm coming from this place and this is what I am purchasing and ring up under this place, and that they can. So although if they had even shared what they have got, and we could have verified with our records, but unfortunately they never shared that. All they did was just came up with this amount, which was a record of taxable purchase, which we have reported all the invoices we had in our books. Now they have more than double of that invoices, then they should have at least shared that with us. They are making comments about certain things which we are selling. Yes, we do sell that, but we don't. This business was primarily selling tobacco products. Now accessories are not something which this business purchases on a daily basis. On a daily, weekly basis, main purchase was tobacco products like cigarettes. Now we told Mr. Rubio that we have Walmart at both locations, and we are competing with Walmart as a small business. Now, in tobacco products like cigarettes or any other cigars and all that, since Walmart opened in 2013 or 14, we were completely facing 2 challenges. One was biggest retailer of the world sitting in front of our store selling most of the same stuff which we are selling as a small business. And the second thing was 2011 or 11 tobacco taxes went up. Cigarette prices back in 2011, which was $3.50 for Marlboro, went up to $8 by 2014 due to the increase in tobacco taxes, and that was a federal tax increase. And then there were other taxes like on cigarettes, on that stamps they put on the cigarettes. So technically, our business on a tobacco-related products was very hardly hit with different taxes which started in 2011-12. So 2013 onwards, we were hardly making this businesses were run family businesses. It's not like I had a couple of my uncles and my brothers who were intermittently just running this business. It was not like we had particular time. Means we did try to open and close as much as possible at the same time. Now, on the audit, they are saying my Google and Yelp account was saying my open time and close time is such, but we have when we do that, or open when we put it on the Google, it's like we can't go and change the timings every day. I mean, we tried. It was a family business. It was not where I had employees who were working in shifts. It was more or less like whoever was available that week that will go and open the store, and it was more for myself. I had another full-time job. I'm in the healthcare industry, and I work full-time in healthcare industry. This businesses were open more or less to support family, and personally, I never spent much time at the locations itself, other than helping with buying stuff, making purchases, and all that. I was going to the locations every day, but not like full day. I was going there to check on things, a few things here and there, making sure that inventory they need, I help them buying. Now, as I said earlier, this business is where we were staying. We were behind rents. We had multiple issues of robberies and now since this whole audit, the amount they have came up is based on the assumption of those 3 days of observation at site at one place and 2 days at another site, and the third place was closed already. So the profit margins they have came up with is 94%, and that is because they are saying that I didn't report all the sale, I didn't provide all the invoices, which I disagree. They have came up with this 94% gross profit margin based on the sales purchases I have made, which if this was 94%, I would not be not be in a position to pay the rent or close down the business. And vendor surveys they have done, I have said, as I have said, means the 2 places they are talking about doesn't even have any ID system to check. Anybody can go there and just say, I'm coming from this place. So now markup calculation for tobacco product, is less than 5% if we are buying cigarettes. Means anywhere, especially business like I had, which is specialized business for tobacco products. So that business doesn't have more than 5% margin in overall in the tobacco product. Do I have more time? I didn't look at the time. So am I under or?
This is Judge Wong. You have about 3 minutes.
Okay. Mr. Jitesh Bhai, do you have anything to add?
I need to say sorry. We had offered regular invoices to Mr. Rubio. I'm sorry. And during our appeal process, we had left Mr. Guillermo Alvarez at the Secretary's office, and he mentioned that
This is Judge Wong. Sorry to interrupt. Mr. Kathari, could you speak a little bit more slowly? We're having trouble understanding you.
I'm sorry, I have a speech disability just wrong. During our appeal process, we had left Mr. Guillermo Alvarez, and we had mentioned about regular invoices, and Mr. Guillermo said regular invoices are not the reliable source of conducting audit. And I don't know why it's not a reliable source. Mr. Sonny, do you want to repeat this, please? Mr. Sonny?
Yes, Ms. Chitesby. What did you ask?
I said, you want to reflect what I just said?
Yes, I agree with you.
Then you went to Senator's office for the affair, and General Alvarez was present from Phoenix, USA, and he said that your invoices are not the reliable sources of conducting audit.
This is why I didn't understand you either. This last line. So
Okay, no, I don't have anything else to add.
are you asking me, Chitesby?
Yeah, I said, that. Can you repeat what I just said?
No, you're saying the invoices which we gave it to him, you still have a copy of those invoices, right?
Yeah, but General Alvarez from Phoenix, USA, he refused to recheck those invoices.
Yeah, he refused to recheck those invoices, yes.
Yeah, General Alvarez. Then you went to Senators for a film.
Yeah, we went to Cerritos and we asked for those invoices, right? And he refused. Yes, yeah. He refused to share those invoices when we went to their office to meet with them.
Right.
Yeah, he did. He never submitted. That's what I said. He never submitted or shared with us, and he even refused when we went there. So yes, Judge Wong, we tried to ask for it, but that was not shared with us. So now before my time is over for this 20 minutes, only the one thing which I want to really emphasize is that this amount, we are fighting with their assumption of this 5 days of observation, and that is maybe that 5 days may apply to those months, but not maybe the 3 days of November they did. Maybe they can apply that for 3 days of November to the 3 years of November, like November 2013, 14, and 14, 15, and 16. Or in December for the other store, but it cannot apply for 3 years of total sales, and that's where my biggest disagreement lies. And I'm very confident that I have reported all the sales tax, but if it solves the problem where, then I can maybe agree to pay difference for those months, not those years.
Mr. Stoney, I think your time is up. Could you finish up in like 15, 30 seconds?
Yes, I'm done. I'm just saying that this observation is for the months of November and December. Maybe their observation and findings can apply to those months of those years in the audit section, but not for the whole 3 years for those averages for those days.
This is Judge Wong. Thank you very much. We were having a little difficulty understanding Mr. Kothari, so we will provide an opportunity, if you would like, to provide a written statement at the end after the hearing. Would you like to do that?
Yes, I can do that, Judge Wong. Thank you for giving me a opportunity.
Okay. This is Judge Wong. I'll now turn to my co-panelists. Judge Cho, did you have any questions for appellant?
This is Judge Cho. Just wanted to get a clarification. So you said certain invoices were not being shared with you. Would you mind explaining what invoice, or were those the invoices from the observation test?
Okay, so Mr. Rubio from the tax department, he said that they did a vendor surveys. So those vendor surveys, they got some invoices back from vendor surveys, he said that there are more invoices they got than I have, reported. I asked them to share those more invoices they were talking about. They never shared it with us. Now, the 2 locations they are talking about in terms of vendor surveys doesn't have any ID system. Anybody can go and tell them, okay, I need this much stuff, and I'm coming from that store. They can. So that too, except Sam's Club, the other 2 locations are not a reliable location because they don't have that ID system to check.
This is Judge Cho. Thank you very much. That's what I was looking for. So these are the vendor surveys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, vendor
That's
surveys. Thanks.
That's the only question that I had.
Thank you, Judge Cho. This is Judge Wong. Judge Dang, do you have any questions for appellant?
Thank you, Judge Wong. This is Judge Dang speaking. I do have a brief question for you, Mr. Soni. Typically, outside of the 5-day observation, to the best of your knowledge, what percentage of appellant's sales were paid for via credit card?
Outside this 5 days?
Just in general, with this business, were the sales predominantly paid for via credit card, or did customers pay cash?
Oh, it was both, but the credit card purchase was more than half. Means, it's nowadays, since last 10 years, the credit card purchases are going up, and we had most of the transactions were credit card, and that's what I have. But I think I remember, if I look at the averages, it should be more than half, which was credit card, around 75%, and it kept going up every year. It means, it kept going compared to 2013, 14 was higher, I think. 14 and 15 was higher, but it was and again, means we were in a location in a city where, it was 2 locations were in Pomona. So we were challenged with, the location was not in an area where we would push for cash that much, because we were, right in, I don't know how familiar you are with Pomona, but we had multiple robberies. Means at all locations, one location was closed down because of robbery, but that's why we were pushing for more credit card. We didn't want to have the cash at the location because it was only one person at the store. We were asking for credit card as much as possible.
This is Judge Dang speaking. During the observation tests, I believe that CDTFA had determined that, based on what they had observed, about roughly 21% of the sales were paid for by credit card. Is there some reason that number would be so? Is there some reason that number would be so different than what you're telling me? What your response
I think
was?
because of that holiday season. Means we were right. This was done right a week before, during that Thanksgiving week, and it was done right before Christmas at one location. So that's the only reason I can think of.
Are you saying that essentially customers tend to pay more with cash during the holidays than they otherwise would?
No, but I don't have any way to tell that, but that's what I'm assuming. Means this whole observation, as I say, this whole amount came up based on the observation and assumption. So at that time, I'm only guessing that it was because, that holiday time, it was, maybe it was more cash that time.
This is Judge Dang speaking. Thank you. I don't have any further questions.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Judge Dang. This is Judge Wong. I just had a question. From what I recall in the audit working papers, it seemed that both CDTFA and appellant agreed to the dates of the observation test. Could you comment on how those dates were decided upon?
Agreed means they told me we can come on this date. Do you have any objection? What objection I could put? Means I can't have a reason to object that. They kept pushing for the date till, we were requesting them to do it, earlier. But it's not like I can come up with valid objection because my store is open. I can't say that I'm closing the stores because you guys are coming on this date.
This is Judge Wong. There's also a sheet, I think it's called in the record, it was in Exhibit A. It's called a BOE 805 observation test fact sheet. It's called test criteria. There's several boxes, and one of these boxes is labeled busy months, and another box is labeled slow months. And both of those indicate that those are not applicable. Appellants represent. If the holidays are busier, like what in the BOE 805?
Well, Mr. Kothari wanted to be done before the tax season starts in January. So that's why he was pushing for this to happen, before the tax season starts in January.
Well, okay. Thank you. No further questions at this time, so I will now turn to CDTFA. Please proceed with your presentations. You have 15 minutes. Thank you.
This is Randy Suazo. The appellant is a limited liability corporation that operated 3 smoke shops during the audit period. Smoke Shop in Pomona, Smoke Depot in Pomona, which closed on June 30th, 2015, and Smoke Outlet in Corona. The stores sold tobacco products, vapes, water pipes, soda, energy drinks, snacks, and miscellaneous taxable items. The appellant seller's permit start date is July 1st, 2007. This is the appellant's first audit. The audit period is from April 1st, 2013 through March 31st, 2016. The hours of operations posted on the business's door was different from what was listed on Yelp and Google and what was stated on the observation fact sheet. The posted opening and closing times on the doors of both remaining stores in Pomona and Corona were from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m., Monday through Saturday. On Sunday, hours of operation are from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. Exhibit A, page 28. The opening and closing times per Yelp and Google were Smoke Shop, which is located in Pomona, 8:30 a.m. to 7:30 p.m., Monday through Saturday, closed on Sunday. And Smoke Outlet, located in Corona, from 8:30 a.m. to 8 p.m., Monday through Saturday, open Sunday, 8:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. This is on Exhibit A, page 28. The opening and closing times per the observation test fact sheet, Form 805, which is listed on Exhibit A, pages 109 and 110, are 10 a.m. to 6 p.m., Monday through Saturday. However, the observation test began at 9 a.m. and ended at around 6:30 p.m. The appellant's representative, Mr. Kothari, mentioned that sometimes the appellant is open on Sundays. However, this was rare. Exhibit A, page 52. For reporting purposes, the appellant recorded sales on a sheet of paper and reported monthly totals to the accountant, who then prepared the sales and use tax returns based on the information. Exhibit A, page 29. Total sales for the audit period were about $1,150,000. The $165,000 deduction for exempt food sales was taken, resulting in reported taxable sales of close to $985,000. Exhibit A, page 18. Records available for the audit period were federal income tax returns for 2013 and 2014, bank statements and merchant statements for the audit period, daily sales worksheets for the fourth quarter of 2016, which was outside the audit period, cash register Z-tapes for the smoke shop in Pomona for 26 days in 2016, again outside the audit period, and cash register Z-tapes for smoke outlet in Corona for the entire month of 2016, again outside the audit period, and purchase invoices for first quarter 2016. Appellant did not provide general and subsidiary journals, cash register receipts, daily sales summary worksheets, and purchase invoices with the exception of the 1 quarter period of first quarter 2016 for the audit period. Federal income tax return sales were compared to sales and use tax returns and disclosed no discrepancies. Review of federal income tax returns disclosed that no salaries and wages were claimed, and if other income was not included, the appellant would have losses of roughly $40,000 each year and a negative cash flow for almost the same amount. Therefore, the appellant would be losing money each year on the actual operations of the business. Exhibit A, page 77. A markup computation was performed using recorded sales for federal income tax returns to cost of goods sold for 2013 and 2014. The recorded markup averaged 21%. However, a review of purchases for the first quarter of 2016 disclosed that not all purchases were included in the federal income tax returns. Exhibit A, page 76. The department attempted to confirm total purchases for the business through vendor surveys and purchase invoice amounts provided for the period of January 1st, 2016 through March 31st, 2016. Only 3 vendors responded to the vendor surveys. The department noted more purchases per the limited number of vendors contacted compared to invoices provided by the appellant. The department's extrapolation of the purchase amounts per the information from the vendor surveys revealed that purchases reported per the federal income tax returns were likely understated. Exhibit A, pages 71 to 75. Additionally, the appellant's businesses do not only sell cigarettes and tobacco products. Other products sold include incense, weight scales, and smoking pipes. The purchase receipts provided by the taxpayer and the vendor request did not show any incense, weight scales, and smoking pipes purchased. However, during the 5-day observation test, the taxpayer sold smoking pipes, incense, and weight scales. During the days of the observation test, the appellant stated his uncle, who was working in the smoke shop location, which was in Pomona, used cash from daily sales to buy inventory around twice a week or whenever there was a need to purchase inventory. Since most of the purchases are made in cash, it is likely purchase receipts are missing throughout the audit period. Exhibit A, again, page 79. Our first quarter 2016 markup of cost was calculated using total purchase invoices plus amounts per vendor survey and reported taxable sales per sales and use tax returns. Exhibit A, page 71. Reported sales per the sales and use tax returns in the first quarter of 2016 were close to $58,000. Taxable purchases for the same period for invoices and vendor surveys showed $80,000 worth of purchases. This showed a negative gross margin of $22,000. The taxable markup that was computed was negative 27.59%. A negative markup of cost means the appellant's cost of products sold to customers was greater than the sales price charged for those goods. A negative markup of cost is an indication of understated taxable sales. Thus, the department found that the reported amounts per the sales and use tax returns and the federal income tax returns were unreliable. Credit card deposits were scheduled from the merchant and bank statements for all 3 locations. Amounts were totaled and credit card transactions were over $548,000. Exhibit A, page 61. To calculate the cash sale transactions during the audit period, site tests were conducted. Tests were conducted on 2 locations that remained open. 3 site tests were conducted at the smoke shop located in Pomona. The smoke shop sales totaled over $2,500 for the 3 days, which averaged to $840 a day. Credit card sales were only 20.33% of total sales. Exhibit A, pages 38 to 53. 2 site tests were conducted at the smoke outlet in Corona. The smoke outlet totaled $927 for 2 days, or $465 per day. Credit card sales were 25.13% of total sales. Exhibit A, pages 54 and 60. Each site test started at around 9 a.m. and ended at roughly 6:30 p.m. with the exception of one which ended close to 8 o'clock. Please note, this is an earlier closing time than posted on the appellant stores and earlier times than on Yelp and Google. The combined percentage of credit card sales was 21.62%. Exhibit A, page 37. The credit card sales percentage was applied to credit card sales for the audit period of, again, $548,000, and audited sales computed to over $2.5 million. The audited sales based on the credit cards were compared to reported taxable sales, and a difference of $1,552,595 was computed. Exhibit A, page 35. Daily sales for both open locations averaged over $1,300 per day when the site tests were conducted. When compared to the projected credit card sales for the last 3 quarters, when only 2 locations were open, the audited sales amounts were considered reasonable. Exhibit A, page 35. This concludes my presentation. I'm available to answer any questions you may have.
This is Judge Wong. Thank you. Judge, do you have any questions for CDTFA?
This is Judge Show. I don't have any questions. Thank you.
This is Judge Wong. Judge for CDTFA.
This is Judge Dang. Thank you, Judge Wong. I do not have any questions.
Thank you. This is Judge Wong. I don't have any questions at this time for CDTFA. We turn back to appellant for appellant's rebuttal and closing remarks. You have 15 minutes. You may proceed.
Yes. Basically, my closing is more or less, if this audit is true, if these are the amounts I was under-reporting, I never had a need to close this store. I would have continued the business, made money, and paid this amount which they have asked. The fact of the matter is the businesses are closed because of I could not pay the rent, and the robberies happened at one location. So please consider that the fact of the matter is that I don't have the businesses running at this point. The businesses are closed for more than 3 years now. Now, in terms of the time, they say that, which is on Google or Yelp or on the storefront, these locations were in an area where safety was one of the issues. So depending on how soon it got dark, sometimes yes, they were not followed the time which is on the door. Since it was run by run as a family business, there was no accountability as an owner I had for my uncles or parents to open or close at certain time, which is posted. Now, when we are talking about when they say the cash which was used for purchases, the Sam's Club purchases are the one which, and the other ones, the cash we had was from Lotto and Scratcher we were selling on a day-to-day basis. that's why we had that much cash on hand to purchase with cash. Because how the lotto and scratcher works is they take out the money from the bank account. So I could not touch that money in the bank, which was deposited through the ATM, ATM sales or credit card sales we had, because we know that every week that there was a debit coming from a California lotto. So that's why the cash was used more for buying inventory, which was coming major source of cash we were getting was from lotto, because we were not using credit card for lotto because we can't. And that's why we had this cash to to use. Now, I am personally, me and my wife is the LLC member of Khushi Investment LLC. We are residents of California for 20 years now. We have filed tax returns every year. We have, we have excellent credit history. We don't owe anything to anyone right now. Fortunately, we have been lucky enough. We are hardworking people, with my wife taking care of my kids who are now college-going kids, and myself. I'm working in a healthcare industry for 20 years now. I'm a licensed healthcare professional without any negative markings on my license in healthcare profession or my credit history throughout. In my background, I have zero negative, just got one or two tickets, traffic tickets. That's all I have in my background. If you check my background, I have paid my taxes. So I request judges to consider the fact that this audit was conducted with the sole purpose of charging the business, and we closed down because of the business. One of the reasons we closed down was not able to pay rent, and one of the reasons was also this audit. So please consider the fact that this business are closed, and I don't have. If I was making that much amount, which is showing on this audit, I wouldn't close. Nobody would close this business. Others sell that business and pay off this tax bill which I have been given. That's all I have. Thank you.
This is Judge Wong. Thank you, Mr. So. Judge Cho, do you have any final questions for either party?
This is Judge Cho. No, I don't have any final questions. Thank you very much.
This is Judge Wong. Judge Dang, do you have any final questions for either party?
This is Judge Dang. I do not have any questions. Thank you.
This is Judge Wong. I did have one question for CA that I forgot to ask earlier. The decision, there was a mention, calculated book markups for 2013 were like 22.65% and 19.58% for 2014. And CDTFA expected a higher markup for this type of business. I was just wondering what type of markup would you expect for this type of business?
Well, tobacco products. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, this is a question directed at CDTFA.
This is Randy Suazo. It would probably be between 25 to 30%.
Thank you. Okay. We had mentioned earlier that we would offer the opportunity to appellant to provide a written statement. Any objection?
This is Randy Suazo. We don't have any objections, Your Honor. Is Judge Wong still on?
Thank you. To respond to a written statement from appellant?
This is Randy Suazo. Yes, we would like opportunity if we believed it. Yes.
Okay, we are going to hold the record open, and I will send out a letter to both parties to solicit a written statement and answer from both parties, and I will set some deadlines for that. Be on the lookout for that in the next few days. Okay. This concludes the hearing. This is Judge Wong. Yes, Mr. Suazo.
Oh, this is Randy Suazo. Basically, if the appellant wrote a letter, we would have the opportunity to respond to it, but we don't really have to write a letter on our own unless it's generated by the appellant, correct?
You would just be answering a statement from a written statement from appellant. You don't have to respond to it if you don't wish to. We'll provide the opportunity, and then if you want to decline, you could just respond in writing that you declined to provide an answer.
No, this is Randy Suazo again. I was just wondering because you were going in and out.
Yeah, sorry, apologies. I have network issues. Be on the lookout for the written communication, and that should include the details. Okay, this is Judge Wong again. This concludes the hearing. We're going to hold the record open, and so this hearing is now. Thank you all for your participation, and it's adjourned until tomorrow. Thank you.